Hi, this is the bird I will be painting today, and if you want to see how I made it, just continue watching. And I'm using this canson paper today, and I divided it in half, and I used these colors, and I have them here on my palette. I don't have a lot of paint on my palette because I'm trying to finish this palette so I can do a fresh refill and maybe do a video on that. I'll begin with a sketch, and I have a photo of a sparrow that I'm looking at while I'm making this. I try to make the sketch quite accurate and include lines and small details. The only reason for me shadowing some parts is because it's easier to see if the shapes and lines are correct. Sometimes I've made a sketch and then colored it and then seen that the shapes are wrong, and I find it easier when I shade just a tiny bit if there is anything wrong with the lines and shapes. So here I'm laying down the first layers, using very light color for this. They can't be darker than the highlights will be in those areas in the final painting. I'm hiding a little heart-shaped highlight in his eye here. It's the benefits of being an artist. You can hide small messages here and there. The hardest part of this painting was probably the wings. I was pondering on how accurate I should make them because their pattern was really intricate, and I kind of procrastinated the wings a bit, trying to avoid them, and I had to sort of build confidence on the easier parts of the painting and gather courage to go on to the harder parts. And that is sort of how I go about making a painting, doing some of the easier parts and then some of the harder parts, and then some of the easier parts and then some harder parts again. So I'm doing some detail work here, and for details you really want quite a dry brush. And it's very handy to have a piece of paper or cloth or something to wipe away the excess water on. It's time to remove the guidelines. By now I don't need them anymore, and it's easier to see which parts I need to work on more. So I finally gathered up enough courage to really make the wings now, and when you make mistakes with watercolor, it's not that easy to fix, but it is erasable to some degree. But I feel like as an artist you kind of learn how to incorporate mistakes to make them look good and make them work for the benefit of the painting. The texture of this paper is very smooth, and it helps when you want really smooth results. But when you want texture, you have to work a little bit yourself to achieve that. I'm adding details to his belly now, and in the end I found that it was a little bit too sharp. So I covered the area with water and smudged out some of the harsh lines to make it look a bit softer. So now this sparrow is done and I'm happy with how it turned out. I hope you liked the video. Bye!